This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, it's a Nick Cage double feature.
Geek boner.
As we deliver listener-sponsored reviews of two of the greatest action movies of the 90s. I'm talking about Con Air and Face Off, all that in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, September 5th, 2022.
You know who this is, and you know why you're here. You want all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, and by God, you found it. Forget everything else out there. Forget all the Scientology bullshit. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Worship at the feet of the holy trio of geekdom, the Jock and Nerd podcast. Play it.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
What's up, listener? How's it going? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us is a fella who also likes to buy dinosaur bones and owes the IRS money. Some know him as Dickless Cage, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
You know, just because I'm dickless doesn't mean I can't please a woman. I can eat a peach for hours.
Oh, that's quite an image. That's quite an image. Yes, it's a very special episode here.
Excuse me. Hi.
Dead.
Hi. What'd you say, dead?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What?
Oh, you guys don't
Dead
know
ass?
the dead.
Is that short for dead ass?
Does that mean that
Dead
you
ass,
liked it,
yeah.
or did you not like it?
No, dead is usually a compliment. Like you say
Okay.
something that's a little risque, and you go dead.
Dead. Not even like I'm
now the
dead.
kids just do skull and crossbones.
Oh,
with
that
the
means
emoji.
dead.
Oh.
You killed me. You're killing
Yeah.
on stage. It's
Dead. Or you killed me. Yeah, it's so good.
it's just been contracted. It's not even like, oh my God, I'm dead from die. It's just dead.
Dead. Yeah.
Got it. Not even
And you,
dead
and you
ass.
misspell and then it was misspelled. It was DED.
Yeah. So
And then it's now it's just skull and crossbones.
it's not even words or letters.
Yeah.
I always confuse it with dead being like crickets, nobody's
No,
alive.
dead is pretty. Dead is
Like dead on arrival. The joke.
yeah.
was.
Dead is good. Dead is you said something that was so controversial or risque or just you hit it right on the head.
All right. There you go.
Dead. All right. Good. Dead is good. Nicholas
No
Cage.
cap.
Big facts. No cap. All the way. What are we doing this week, fellas? Well, look, listener, you've seen the title of this episode. Why does it say Nick Cage double feature, Con Air, and Face Off reviews? It's kind of random, but there's a reason. Couple of reasons, actually. We have a lovely fan club on Patreon, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. We'll take you there.
Jock and Nerd.
And for the tier, you pick a tier and higher, you get to choose any movie you want us to watch, force us to watch anything, and review it. So this week we have a double feature. This review sponsored by Patreon supporter and listener Jose Ibarra wanted
Jose.
Nick Cage double feature, Con Air and Face Off. Jose has been a patron for 52 months.
Oh shit! Whoa!
That is amazing to Jose. I got to give him this.
Great ass.
Whoa!
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's Nick
Wow.
Cage giving you a compliment. Take it. But the other reason, Anthony, I think this is a nice warm-up, a nice tease to a certain tournament we are preparing for.
Yeah, we are in the midst of battle right now as we are prepping for the 90s action tournament. And if you listened to the Patreon where we picked the movies, you'll know that we picked 3 Nick Cage movies. And the double feature we are reviewing today are 2 of those movies that are going to be in the tournament, Face Off and Con Air. So it's appropriate.
It's appropriate, and it's wild. These movies are wild. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's get started with Con Air from 1997. Both movies, by the way, came out the same year. Which is
Really?
Yes, they're both
Holy
from 1997, which is insane to begin with. Con Air, here's your spoilers for this movie if for some reason you've never seen it.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Con Air currently on the Rotten Tomatoes, out of 70 reviews, it's sitting at 57%.
Ooh,
tomato meter,
blasphemous.
right? 5.7 out of 10. Audience giving it 75% better, but yeah, 57%. This movie was made for $75,1997 and finishes box office worldwide $224 million, which that's not bad. That's not bad. The movie is directed by Simon West in his first feature movie project directing. He came from music videos, as a lot of these guys did. And famously, you guys know what video he directed, the infamous video?
the Rickroll.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, no kidding.
He gave the world the Rickroll, directing that low budget, never gonna give you up. Rick Ashley.
That video tells a story.
Never
by
gonna
the
give,
way.
never gonna give.
If you pay attention, he goes to this like restaurant and he's like singing, and there's like a dude like behind the bar, and he's like looking up at this. Who's this white guy singing? And all of a sudden, by the end of the fucking thing, he's dancing. He's dancing to the music because he's feeling Rick Astley's groove.
Simon West telling epic stories.
Simon West did the best Expendables movie, Expendables 2.
Yeah, he goes on to do the Expendables and what's
Tomb
another movie?
Raider.
The Laura Croft Tomb Raider. And he's working
Amongst
on some
others.
stuff that's still coming out. The movie does get Oscar nominations for Best Sound. And of course, Trisha Yearwood's How Do I Live wins an Oscar. Forever putting that in jukeboxes and annoying everyone. This is also a Jerry.
That song was also sung by Leanne Rimes.
Oh, is it Leanne Rimes? She did that like
no, they
later.
both did it.
Oh, they
Yeah.
both recorded it.
Not together, but they both have different
Whose
versions.
version is more popular?
Leanne Rimes.
I don't care. Oh, it's Leanne Rimes. Okay. It's a fine song. Jerry Bruckheimer producing. So, you know, there was a lot of cocaine being done when this movie was getting made. The movie stars Nick Cage, of course, we said, as convict Cameron Poe. And it's got a crazy eclectic cast. John Cusack, John Malkovich, McKelty Williamson, Ving Rhames, Dave Chappelle, Steve Buscemi, Danny Trejo, amongst others. So crazy. The Trejo is in this.
Yeah.
Crazy cast. Anthony, what happens in Con Air?
Con Air is Die Hard on a plane with convicts.
Pretty much. Very good. Very straightforward.
That's basically what it is.
You kind of nailed it.
If you want me to get into it, it's Nicolas Cage is an ex-military guy who gets put in jail for killing somebody, and on the day of his last day in jail, he's on a plane with convicts that are getting transported to a new jail. For whatever reason, he's on this plane with the most dangerous people in the world. And said most dangerous people in the world, led by Cyrus the Virus, played by John Malkovich, hijacked the plane, and as mentioned, it's Die Hard on a plane with convicts. And there you go.
Prisoners on a Plane. Anthony, why do you love this movie so much? I know your feelings on this movie. You've mentioned it several times.
I've not only mentioned it on the Patreon, but I mentioned it on this show.
Yeah.
Why do I love this movie so much? Because it's just insane. It's insanity. You have Nicolas Cage, who's coming off winning Oscars, doing a horrible Southern accent with long, luscious hair that I know Rug Boy loves.
The hair is great.
I mean, one of the greatest end credit scenes is him just hair blowing in the wind, looking into the camera, and Nicolas Cage appears across the bottom of the page. So you got that. You got overqualified actors playing parts. I mean, John Cusack is in this movie. He hates talking about this movie. They don't even bring it up because he doesn't want to talk about it. John Malkovich is an all-time actor playing an over-the-top villain. Ving Rhames, Steve Buscemi, all the names you mentioned. It's just a ridiculous movie that is so goddamn fun. And the characters and the action set pieces, it has everything you want. These are the type of movies that just don't get made anymore. And if they are made, they're straight to video or worse. So this is awesome. This was fucking great. I loved it, and you guys already know my thoughts on it. We can dive into it a little bit, but I'm curious to see what you guys thought about it after having probably rewatched it for the first time in years.
Yeah, I had not watched this in a while, and man, I had a lot of fun. Ruggs, did you rewatch this? What did you think this time around?
Yeah, Con Air was never one that I went back to the well for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And
That's a mistake.
I like Nicolas Cage. Yeah. I just remember when I was watching it back in the 90s in the theater, I was like, why is his hair looking like that? I'm like, his hair looks so crazy in this. It's like either like it's wet
or it's blowing in the wind.
Sometimes it's blowing for no reason.
It's amazing mullet. It is amazing mullet.
It's beefy. It's like really beefy on the sides. It's just like it's just incredible. And like the hair is one of the things that I could never forget about it. But everything else was kind of forgettable. I remember, and then I watched it again, and I was like, how did I forget all this?
I know, right?
Dave Chappelle drops out of a plane. It's like the worst dummy that you've ever seen.
As pinball.
And it just lands on someone's car. Oh my God.
He doesn't immediately explode dropping from 50,000 feet.
Yeah, he should atomize.
He lands perfectly straight down with the message scrawled on. Oh my God. Just is fantastic.
Yeah, so there's some like fucking definite like 80s, 90s
oh my God,
shenanigans.
when Chappelle lights the dude on fire, you hear him go, "The last Mohican is burning." There's some amazing lines in this movie.
It's all wrong, but it's all right.
It's definitely an irreverent film. You can't make half the things they put in this film. They can't do that now. I mean, Danny Trejo's whole side plot is just
he wants to rape this woman.
Troubling.
Johnny 23, nickname based on about women he has assaulted, and there's a female
assaulted, raped.
He's a rapist.
He's a rapist.
Yes.
He's a rapist.
And he's constantly, there's one female guard, and he's constantly like, "You're going to be 24. Oh, boy. I was like, oh, my God. And I love Trejo. It was really weird and dirty while, watching him again in that role. But just the use of practical effects like they did in both of these movies is so great. And I think it's why it holds up, partly because it's just over the top explosions.
Yeah, I'd say it holds up. I don't say it holds up in a way that's like, this is a modern awesome movie. Like it's not that.
It holds up as enjoyment, though.
It holds up in terms of just, this is a snippet of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's super entertaining. I mean, Nicolas Cage actually looks like, if you see him in the tank, he's jacked. He looks the part. He's actually taking, I don't know if he's taking it seriously or not. I think that's part of the charm of it too, is I don't know what he's really going for with the accent and the build and the hair. And you should have left the bunny in the basket.
Put the bunny in the box. That's a lot of this shit was his idea, like to be that he was a former Ranger, the bunny. Like he was really committed to this role.
Yeah, he hands his daughter that fucked up bunny, and she at first doesn't want to take it.
Well, it's. I mean, his daughter hasn't seen him in 10, ever.
Yes,
and the first thing she gets from him is this bunny that he's been holding on to.
I love, as opposed to the next movie, you got Nick Cage as a good guy, a guy just trying to get home to his daughter, right? And it doesn't make sense in the beginning that he would get 10 years for defending himself and his pregnant wife against clearly people who were just fucking with him for no reason, right? That would have been self-defense, whatever. Yeah, I'm like, okay, why are you getting 10 years for this? It makes no sense. But
there's no way he should have gone to jail.
Lawyer?
I mean, he's a decorated serviceman, and he's just defending himself. Yeah, he had a horrible lawyer. The accent is all over the place. Sometimes it's there. Sometimes it's just too thick. It's hilarious. So here's another thing that struck me about this cast at the time. Malkovich and Buscemi and Cusack, these guys were like indie movie, small independent film stars. And this was like their big blockbuster. So it's just really weird to see all of them in this. Steve Buscemi probably has the strangest role as Garland Green, the fucking serial killer.
The scene with him and the little girl where they're sitting in first off, that scene is so ridiculous because they're in this empty airport place.
Yes.
I don't know where they're at.
Lerner Airfield, it's abandoned.
It's an abandoned airfield, and there just happens to be a little girl living in this. I don't know. I think it looks like this house is homeless.
Yes,
she's living there.
It's an abandoned house.
My favorite part is the establishing shot.
Yeah.
Of of Steve Buscemi like walking out into the thing. It's completely desolate. There's nothing in front of him.
Yeah.
And then like the next shot, they come back and all of a sudden he's come upon a trailer park.
It's just a trailer park, and this little girl's having a tea party. Where are her parents? It doesn't matter. In a fucking abandoned pool, nobody else around. What the fuck is happening? And you're like, oh, he's gonna eat her, isn't he? He's gonna do something. It turns out he doesn't, though. It was a nice little twist there at the end, where I was like, oh shit, the girl's still alive. What do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the movie. I think what I really like about the movie is obviously the ridiculousness, but also it kind of moves pretty quick. You kind of get into what's going on really quick. The premise gets set up, and you go, okay, this is interesting. Nicolas Cage is on a plane with a plane full of convicts, and he doesn't get off. He wants to try to stop the convicts from doing their thing. The only part that I was going, this was moving a little slow at some points, was when they take the detour and he has to search for
the needle.
The needle. I thought that took a little longer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
I don't think the whole diabetes storyline.
Oh my god! There's this movie.
That guy doesn't even really need to be there.
Why do we have to follow the guy that finds the dress to put on?
Oh, that guy.
Why was that? Why do we have to break
was
away
his
from
name?
the action to see this happen?
His name was great. What was his name? I can't remember.
That guy is also very problematic.
Yes. Now, Sally guard. No, Sally Bishop is the guard. That was the girl. I forgot
Sally
his name.
can't dance.
Sally can't dance. And then you have Swamp Thing, who joins them later. It's a great name.
I just thought it was awkward that I thought there was going to be a punchline to that, right? Like he would, like they would put the dress on, and then there would be a reason for like it just seemed like it went nowhere. Like they went and did that, and like, okay, I guess we just had to see that for what reason?
He smacks her and he screams like a.
The movie's almost 2 hours. It could probably be an hour and a half.
So the movie promotes. This is what I was going to say. The movie promotes diabetes awareness, right? In a strange way, you realize how important it is to get insulin to the diabetes sufferer. And that was a strange thing. I guess it was just there had to be a reason why he is not leaving the plane when he had a chance. He's just trying to get home. And it was Baby-O.
Well, it was that, but it was that the diabetes thing was one of the reasons, but then the other one was he just an altruistic guy that realizes, I can't. It's my duty to kind of stop this. You don't need two reasons for him to stay.
Oh, that's true.
It was a missed opportunity to not have Wilford Brimley in this movie when we're talking about diabetes.
Wilford's running next to the plane on horseback, going diabetes, shooting arrows. Then there's that scene where the plane takes off and the detective's car is attached to it. First of all, is that even possible? Can a plane take off with a car attached to it?
I don't know,
Probably.
but I thought that was the most 90s thing in the movie.
Yes, because
right there.
they're looking far away. It's in the distance, and then it hits the tower and lands right in front of them comedically.
Wait, we thought that was the most 90s thing? I thought the most 90s thing was Nicolas Cage doing the one-punch kill to the nose, where he shoved the nose up the guy's
that's
brain.
also very 90s.
That Bruce Willis does that in Last Boy Scout.
But they underplay it in this one.
They do. I didn't even know that's what happened in the very beginning, because it's raining.
Yeah, the guy's just dead.
Yeah. The guy just goes.
I mean, there's that. I forget. Does he get on horseback in this?
No, he does
he's
not.
on horseback.
That's True Lies.
Yeah.
When he chases them in the ambulance.
Yes, there's a lot of chase scenes. Motorcycle, ambulance.
The plane
There was some
lands.
great stunt work on that, where they were hanging off the fucking the
fire engine. The fire engine motorcycle chase at the end.
That was pretty.
Well, there's
great.
that too, where the guy they're on top of a moving vehicle and he pushes his head up far enough where he just gets decapitated.
Oh yeah. Well, and they do the thing
that happens in Speed.
Yeah,
and they
that's
also
true.
do the thing in every movie where you think the big bad guy's dead, Cyrus, and then he pops
100%.
up again, and he's not dead. Let's talk about
that was a huge 80s, 90s thing,
Yes,
where the
all the
fake
time.
out death of the villain.
Dennis
You're like,
Hopper.
oh, he's alive.
It happens in the next movie. Like you think they're
It happens in Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
It happens in every movie.
Die Hard,
Where it's like,
It
oh
happens
my
in-
God, he's not dead.
Yeah. Die Hard, the big fucking blonde guy.
What do
right?
they call it in Mortal Kombat? Like the big fatality, the super fatality. What's it called?
Brutality?
Yeah, that's what happens at the end of this movie. It's like they got a brutality. Like he dies and then he gets put in the crushing machine, so he dies again.
Well, but that is the funniest thing because he's handcuffed to the fire engine. It goes up. He crashes through this bridge. The handcuffs come off. He falls through electrical cords and gets electrocuted. It's still not dead. Lands perfectly on a thing that pushes him right into his head, into the head crusher machine, and pop. It's amazing.
Like at the end of Terminator, that crushing machine.
He gets so perfect. But the big, that was in the trailers, the big landing the plane on the Las Vegas Strip scene is fantastic. Still.
They actually used a real hotel was going out of business, so they actually filmed part of it there.
The Sands was going to be demolished, and they asked them, can you hold this off for a little while? And they actually did crash that plane into the lobby of the Sands. The stuff before is like miniatures and composite you could see. But that's a fucking still a great stunt. Like, it looks great.
The whole movie is just lots of ideas that should never work, and they're just all thrown together, and it just comes into this smorgasbord of things that where I go, all of this is kind of bad, but it's great. It's all awesome. There's nothing, the gratuitous amounts of them playing How Do I Live, which is such a miscast song for this movie.
Yeah.
Yet that song ends up being the song, like one of the songs of the year. And how does that? When I was watching Con Air for the first time, like, How Do I Live came from this movie?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
This fucking movie?
It has nothing to do with any part of the movie.
I mean, it's like kind of connected to his relationship with the kids, but it's like none of this is even remotely. I would imagine How Do I Live coming from a movie like Titanic, not from fucking Con Air.
Something where there's a tender moment of some kind.
They say the word Con Air like 2 times. They like actually say the title
Welcome
of the
to
movie.
Con Air, Cyrus says, John Malkovich.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Another great Cyrus the Virus line. He's like, you know what my dad taught me? Nothing.
Well, how about like when Sandino double crosses him and takes off in the plane and they stop it and he's going, sigh. And then John Malkovich is throwing the gasoline, just goes, Anara, and throws a cigarette.
Yeah,
and the whole thing
sayonara.
explodes. Sayonara. It's so good. It's so
I
stupid.
even really enjoyed just the mini interactions between the prisoners, Cyrus and Ving Rhames' character.
Yep.
Cyrus and Danny Trejo, where Cyrus is even like, dude, you're not fucking going to rape this girl.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Get out of here. Like, all the mini interactions, and like Ving Rhames has this whole thing where he's like, I'm following this guy for a bit, but I'm playing him too type thing. So there's just so many, you have so many good actors in this movie that are kind of elevating what on paper is just dreck. I think that's what makes it, is you've just got really good actors having a ball. And then you've got Dave Chappelle, who's out there batting 1,000, who should be in the movie way longer.
Yes.
But no one realizes that Dave Chappelle is going to become Dave Chappelle.
Right.
So they kill him off.
They kill him.
Unceremoniously, he gets stuck in the landing gear because they leave him behind.
There's pinball. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, because they took off. What? John Cusack's character.
It's such an unflattering dummy, too, with the teeth.
Oh, real bad. Real bad.
What's up
falling
with that?
on the
I want to know, does Dave Chappelle ever talk about that? Oh, my God. That would be a great bit for his.
Hitting on that girl, and he's like, you hear a plane? And he starts running. Maybe I'm a cop. No, and it's just wild, over the top fun, all of it. And John Cusack, though, was the one that I was like, this is a weird role for John Cusack.
I loved him in it.
You're right. He did not like being in this movie or having anything to do with this movie for a long time. But the movie is like,
He wore sandals for crying
so that was. There's a lot of like
work.
There's a lot of weird behind the scenes things. His thing was, I want to wear sandals. I want to see an action guy who wears sandals. So he wore Birkenstocks.
Well, Jesus did it, but like, I wear sandals, okay, every once in a while.
The in the beginning where he's doing like fucking handstand push-ups and pull-ups, you notice all that shit, Anthony? That was inspired by Nick Cage's actual workout routine, because he was in the best fucking shape of his life for this movie.
Oh, he looks great. He looks great.
Yeah.
When he's wearing the tank and you get a wide shot of him and his shoulder, I legitimately went, oh my God, he took it seriously enough to go, I want to look the part of an actual action star for this one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get as big as I can get for this. I'm not playing around. I'm taking this as serious as I can while also doing a shitty Southern accent with bad hair.
He's like, listen, if I'm gonna run with a fireball behind me towards the camera, I want to look great.
He did a lot of his own stunts too in this movie, so you see him jumping with fire like right behind him. A couple other stories. There was Mickey Rourke Red for the part of Cyrus the Virus, but Simon West always wanted Malkovich, and Rourke got all crazy and pulled out a knife like during the fucking audition. But he didn't get it. Obviously, they visited Folsom Prison, Nick Cage and Bruckheimer and the producers.
Of course he did.
And people were like starting to swarm around him, and they were getting nervous, and there was a stabbing in the yard when they were there, just to kind of get authentic feel for the thing. And then the best story is that the sets in Nevada, it was 120 degrees. There was a lot of testosterone. Everybody had their shirt off. They would wrestle to kill time. So it got pretty fucking bro-y and testosterone-y on the set of this movie.
I was listening to the rewatchables of this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pose a question they posed on that one.
Yes.
They do this segment where they go probably unanswerable questions. And one of the questions was, what are the odds Nick Cage's wife wasn't having an affair for the 10 years that he was in jail after coming back from being in the military for God knows how long? How long has she been waiting on this man?
Yo, she was smoking hot too.
Yeah, there's no chance Nick Cage is coming back to a woman that's still single and waiting
Monica
for him after
Potter
10 years.
playing Trisha Poe, yes, and who everybody wanted, and he was being harassed the minute at
Right.
the beginning. That's a good question.
And there's like the weird, like, he's back and he served the military, but now it's the 80s. This is 90s, obviously, and no one likes anybody that serves in the military, so he gets no respect in the beginning of the movie, which leads to him killing somebody.
And that was like a post-Vietnam thing.
Right. But it's like 30 years later.
It's 30 years later, so I was like, that's kind of odd. Like, was that still happening in 1997? I don't know about that. I don't know.
We're military men walking into country bars and all the people were going, "Hey, go get me a beer, you fuck."
Well,
Thanks for serving in the military.
I don't think there was any kind of like honorable war at that time going on. I think that 9/11 was like when people started getting really patriotic because we felt like, oh, we got attacked and they're fucking. Everybody always shit on the military. They're like, "What are you doing? You're going to fucking get oil, or what are you doing over there in Desert Storm?" Like, nobody even knew what was going on. We didn't feel threatened at all. So people were just like, whatever. So. That's what I think.
Were they telling military men to get them drinks, though?
I don't know, but I just think that the heroism got amped up after 9/11. Just
for
a little bit,
for sure.
You're probably not surprised to learn that they were rewriting this movie a lot, and a lot of things are improvised. Dave Chappelle improvised a lot. Malkovich just making things up because they just kept changing things. And
I mean that whole middle section where they land, that all had to be super improvised because Nicolas Cage just leaves wherever all the other convicts are for about half of them. It's like 20 minutes.
Looking for the needle.
Looking for a needle.
Yeah.
And they're just like digging out, and they're like trying to dig the plane out, and then you have the double cross with the prisoners. There's just so much going on in that little part that I have to believe they were just writing that all on the spot. They're like, how do we fluff out this movie a little bit? Well, let's have Nick Cage look for a needle. Let's have them try to dig out. Let's do all these little things. Let's have like a mini war scene in the middle of this part. Like they were just fluffing the movie at that point.
Yeah, they did the whole.
They're like, we need one more action scene.
Yeah, with the gas tanks, they do that whole ambush kind of setup. But yeah, they go up and land several times, and every time something fucking happens. So I was like, did you need to land 3 different separate times? I don't know. But a lot of fun watching these guys just have a blast. Especially Malkovich is having so much fun in this, and you could tell. And it's great to watch him. Yeah, all right. That's that'll. I think. Any other favorite lines or moments? I'm trying to think.
Oh, I was going to say the one of the well executed parts of this movie, which Guardians tried to copy, or not Guardians, Suicide Squad. Many years later, as they do the prison introductions.
Yes,
and you get a sense for, okay, this is Cyrus the Virus. Yep. This is Ving Rhames' character. They basically do like a rap sheet on all the prisoners. And you go, all right, I know exactly what I'm dealing with in this movie. These are all like the worst people in the world on one plane. Yeah. You know, it's not it's very well set up in terms of that, of establishing who everyone is and what, like within 5 minutes, you know exactly who everyone is on this plane. You know all the pieces.
The only thing I didn't get, I might have missed it because I was like, I'm not paying attention or something, was why they had to put like that agent in there to get killed.
Oh yeah, there was that one guy who the DEA agent going undercover, and he.
Like, isn't this what they do? Don't they just transport criminals all the time? Like, why is this guy have to go in undercover? Like,
I don't get that.
He was there to get someone to talk or something. I don't understand.
Yeah, he was trying to get some information on somebody, but conveniently, they can't give him a gun, even though I think he had a gun.
The dude slipped him a gun right before he sent him on.
Oh, so he was there to get info.
Right.
Yeah.
He was posing as, I think, a prisoner. I forget. It's been about a month since I've seen.
He
this
was
movie.
posing as a prisoner.
I think they were trying to get some information in that cartel, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, that part. That part was extra too. Probably wasn't necessary, but it did establish like there's only one gun on the plane. He had another one until they found the other cache.
Well, they said, "Oh, there's a small arsenal in the
belly
of the plane." I'm like, "Oh, well.
Yeah." It's a very also they kept playing all the Southern rock songs and Sweet Home Alabama. It's a very Southern rock movie, which is apparently how this guy Simon West or the writer Scott Rosenberg, Disney came to him and they were like.
Scott
Rosenberg.
Oh, my brother.
They sent him an article about this prisoner transport program that this movie is based on, and they wanted him to come up with an idea, but they were like, they don't want Die Hard on a plane. And he listened to a lot of Southern rock, and came up with this, which is why all the characters are named after like rock stars, like Diamond Dog is David Bowie, and some of the other ones they're all musician names. But
it's fucking great.
It's a great movie. It is kind of a great movie. It is, even with all its craziness over the top, like just for the 90s, for the time, for the action, the explosions, Nick Cage's hair. Yes. Okay. Let's rate this movie for me, Anthony. What would you give it?
I really liked this movie. Even thinking back on it, I was just smiling ear to ear watching this movie. Definitely problematic now, but still fun. I would go 8 out of 10.
Oh, shit. Okay. I like it.
I really liked it.
Ruggs.
I thought it was solid. I'll give it a 7.5. It definitely delivers on entertainment. So it definitely entertains. There is a little bit of a lull here and there. But there's just so much batshit stuff going on and outrageous stuff going on that you're like, oh, I don't want to miss what happens next. So it does keep you glued in. So it was a better experience than I remember it on the second watch.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to give it a 7.5 too. It is definitely one of the important parts of the Nick Cage 90s trilogy, including Face Off and Con Air.
It's the only one out of the three where he's actually a good guy and physically
in shape,
doing things.
Yeah.
Because in The Rock, he's kind of playing a dweeb.
Yeah.
And in Con Air, which we'll talk about, he's all over the place.
In Face Off.
Not Con Air, Face Off. But this is the only one where he's legitimately the hero of the story and the one leading the way in terms of action.
Yeah, and he's like just an innocent guy almost, in a way, getting caught up in something. And
he, unfortunately, the day that he gets released, he's got to
July 14th, which is also, isn't that Bastille Day? I think they picked that day for a reason. That was the symbology. They kept saying July 14th as he was reading the letter from his kid.
Yeah, he's playing Southern John McClane.
So it is Southern John McClane.
With that's jacked up with hair.
Die Hard on the plane with the mullet. Fantastic.
Butter its eating hairline, though. Still.
Was it?
Like John McClane, yeah.
He definitely has a receding hairline, and it makes it even better. It makes it even better that he looks like that.
He's trying to hold on to it desperately.
I mean, my favorite thing is when he walks off that bus and closes his eyes, like to sniff the air.
Yeah.
And the hair is just fluttering in the background. I love that so much.
He wanted that shot in there. He's like, no, you're going to enjoy this. Get a good shot of my hair as I walk down there.
That's my real hair.
Yeah. My real hair. And like Baby O.
What's his daughter's name?
The daughter's name was Kate. Was it Casey?
Something. I don't know what it was. I'm trying to do it in person.
Casey Poe.
Dear Casey.
Yeah.
Stay in school. I love even the voiceovers of him writing the letters and then reading it out loud.
It's so great. And Baby O gets shot and survives. This is what kind of movie we're dealing with. Only the bad people die. They'll be good. Somehow.
Yeah.
All right, look, let's take a quick break here. We're going to play some promos, and we're going to come back and talk about another balls crazy Nick Cage action movie right after this.
After these messages,
right back.
What's up, guys? Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. Are you just sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I really love some dude in his garage sitting around talking about arbitrary countdowns and his favorite things in the world of movies, music, and TV? Well, guess what? That's me. Please look me up. My name is Gerald, and I am from Two Peas on a Podcast. If you want to subscribe to my countdown show, I have a different co-host every week. It's often someone from the world of podcasting or entertainment, and we go through our top 5 favorite things in whatever that week's category is. You can find links to all of our content, subscribe via your favorite podcast app, and follow us on social media. The easiest thing to do is just head to our website, which is www.twopeasonapod.com. I hope you look me up and join the party. It's a lot of fun. See you soon.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Throwback Thursday from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. Along with my co-host, Bill. Every Thursday, we bring you classic hip-hop.
Classic. Straight classic.
You know, all the good stuff, the stuff that you forgot about, the golden age, pre-golden age, back to the original era.
For all the pioneers, I'm going way back.
Each week, we bring you hip-hop headlines, so we let you know what's going on with your favorite artists from back in the day. We bring you Wu News. We dedicate an entire segment just to the Wu-Tang Clan every week.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
We bring you 2 records. One is a one and done. One is a record of the week. We give you an artist of the month. We give you all the classics.
Classic. Straight classic.
Come and check us out. Every week we're on iTunes, Stitcher, and at MrThrowbackThursday.com. And if you remember nothing else, always remember, new school stale, old school fresh.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. You can support the show on a monthly or annual basis. Every little bit helps. It means a lot. Ensures the show keeps coming out. And you get swag. You get bonus stuff. There's another podcast feed, an exclusive Patreon podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus contents, post shows, instant reactions, reviews. Speaking of 90s action movies, that's where you'll hear the 3 of us with John Bellotti Jr. pick the 32, was it 32? 32 movies
32, yep.
that end up in the 90s action movie tournament. These 2 movies being in there, which is why this is so much fun to get a little warmed up. We also have Discord benefits if you sign up to the Patreon. We do monthly geeky hangouts. This September's gang hangout will be Thursday, September 22nd, 8 p.m., 2022. Be there. And like I mentioned at the beginning, you can pick any movie for us to watch and review. Patreon subscribers' choice, listeners' choice. Lots of fun, which is why we're all Nick Cage today. All Nick Cage all the time is how it should be.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, that's a bad
I
clip.
love Nick Coppola.
Nick Coppola, which is his real name. He is a son of the Coppolas, right? Francis Ford, or that's his
I
uncle.
think he's a cousin or something.
He's a cousin,
or an uncle.
yes.
Yeah, he's his uncle or nephew, something like that.
You know what he's like?
I'm like a prickly pear.
Oh,
He's like-
is that Nick Cage?
That was Nick Cage. He's like a prickly
What
pear.
else you got to say, Nick? Give me something else, Nicky.
I know you're a hooker.
Oh, who told
Oh.
you?
Oh my God, he knows me.
Anyways, he knows you well. All right.
He's the nephew of Francis Ford
Oh,
Coppola.
he's the nephew.
Yep, of Ford Coppola and actress Talia Shire.
Oh, Talia Shire and Coppola, sure,
And he's
yeah.
a cousin of Roman and Sophia Coppola.
Cousin of Sophia. Okay, Talia Shire is from Rocky, right?
Right.
That's Adrian. That's Adrian.
That's right.
Wow. He is, Cage was always like movie kind of
Destined,
royalty. Yeah. It was in his blood. And let us continue with the Nick Cage double feature. We are still in 1997. This movie is called Face Off. Here's your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
What a year for Nick Cage to have Con Air and Face Off come out at the same time.
No.
Yes, Nick Cage. I hit that by accident.
No. No.
Stop interrupting me, Nick
That was
Cage.
perfect timing.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh boy, we're stuck with the
All
Nick
right,
Cage.
well, you stick around.
He's gonna stick around. This
Let's
is
talk about you a little bit.
a little better on Rotten Tomatoes than the Con Air. This one, 92%.
Ooh.
90 reviews, 7.8 out of 10. Audience score, 82%. This one, again, Similar budget, similar return. $80 million budget. This movie makes worldwide overall $245 million at the box office. He has two movies with the same budget. Both of them made money. It's kind of crazy.
Would you guys let me ask you something real quick, because in retrospect, it seems like that year these two movies with The Rock, if you were awarding the action movie star of that time, I feel like Nick Cage would have taken it by then. But did you guys think of Nick Cage? Rewind to 1997. Were you thinking Nick Cage was the best action star in the world at that point?
No.
Or are you still holding on to the other guy?
I mean,
no, I thought that, though, he was definitely coming up. I was like, all right, this dude's like now going to be an action star. But I don't think he did that much action after this. Did he? I don't remember.
I mean, he did Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he did some. I mean, and he's done a bunch since, but they're
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. But if you look at it, like by the numbers, he had basically taken that title. Yeah. He was the guy. He took it from Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and it's so improbable because you look at that guy's career before doing those three movies, and it's just like there's no way
he's
Nick
a
Cage would have been
character
an action
actor.
star.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned in 95, he wins an Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas, then does The Rock in 96, Con Air and Face Off in 97. And by Con Air, I think that's when everyone started to pay attention and that he was like,
it's kind of poignant because he drinks himself to death.
Yep.
So he drinks.
Yep.
The old Nick Cage dies. Like the character actor Nick Cage dies. And then out like a phoenix with long flowing hair, he returns in Con Air and as a new
reborn,
beefy action star.
But then his career, obviously his career gets crazy as you go into the late 90s and the 2000s, and even now still, where last few years he's making 7 direct-to-streaming movies a year.
Right.
Because he's got to pay the IRS. Anyways, but back then...
But also voice acting and Spider-Man and other
doing
things.
Good shit, yes.
Yeah.
So I think in 96, 97, yes, Nick Cage is the action guy ruling the box office. This one directed by the great John Woo. I fucking love John Woo. And this is this is the first Hollywood film where he had a huge amount of creative control. He had already done Hard Target, which you talked about, and Broken Arrow. And of course, the guy had been directing action movies for years at this point. You know, he's done The Killers, Hard Boiled. He's been directing movies since the late 70s, all through the 80s. Tons of movies. Yeah. So, whereas Simon West, first time feature film director, you give a veteran here, John Woo, taking a ridiculous premise and just making it sing.
What's interesting, too, is he originally rejected doing this movie.
Oh, really?
He didn't want to do this at all. He kept. I think this was one of the first ones he got offered, and he kept rejecting it.
Oh, my God.
And then he decided to eventually do it, but not do it in a futuristic setting. He wanted to do it now.
Originally, it was supposed to take place in the future, so the face-switching technology would make sense. But this is...
Not only was it supposed to take place in the future, did you see who was supposed to be... They wanted to do it?
Yes. Go ahead, tell us.
They wanted it to be Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
Oh, shit. I don't know if that would have been
They
better.
couldn't pull this off. No way.
I don't think they could pull this off, and we'll get to that.
I mean, they barely pulled it off in this movie.
Yeah.
And you had like 2 people who could actually act. So,
oh my God,
it's just a completely different movie if it's Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
It's probably I don't know if it's a worse movie, but it's definitely the acting. Like I don't know.
That one you'd have to set in the future to make it like more believable, right? That it's just far fetched.
You need guys that don't have ridiculous accents.
No, they can't be playing each other. It's not going to work.
The best part of Stallone, 2 guys with ridiculous accents, and Stallone, his accent is his just mumbling.
Arnold would have to mumble in Austrian. It would just be a mess. But anyways, it's so weird because this is such a John Woo movie. Like John Woo.
I love John Woo.
All over the place.
I got turned on to him when Better Tomorrow and The Killer came out. And it is, if you watch those movies, this is right alongside, the most John Woo-est of American movies.
We're going to get to what makes a John Woo movie a John Woo movie. All of the tropes are in here. But first, Anthony, what happens in Face/Off? That also, they had to fight for the slash in the title because otherwise people thought it was going to be a hockey movie. And I think someone auditioned for it and turned it down because they realized it wasn't a hockey movie. They thought they were auditioning for a hockey movie. So
Face Off.
Face/off. What happens?
Face Off. First off, I rewatched this. So Con Air I'd never seen.
Oh.
This one I've seen plenty of times. I call this one a late night cable movie.
Yeah.
When they throw it on HBO or something like that. And I was always I always seemed to have the TV on at the right time to catch this movie. And whenever I watched it, whatever time it was in the movie, I would finish the movie. I've seen it so many times on cable and then edited on like TNT. So I've seen this movie plenty of times. Anyways, this movie is set now, as we've said, featuring John Travolta as Sean Archer and Nicolas Cage as Castor Troy, and they're locked in a blood feud. Basically, John Archer works for the police. Castor Troy is a wanted convict. Castor Troy gets caught by John Travolta, and John Travolta has been chasing this guy forever because he killed his son. And John Travolta realizes, even though they caught him, or Sean Archer realized they caught him, that he planted a bomb. And the only way to get the coordinates of this bomb is they have to take Sean Archer's face and take it off and put Castor Troy's face on it so he can go into prison as Castor Troy and infiltrate with his brother to get the coordinates of this bomb before it goes off. And by doing that, they actually swap faces, and you now have John Travolta playing Nicolas Cage in John Travolta's body, and you have Nicolas Cage playing John Travolta
As Nicolas Cage. Yes. It's amazing.
And it's just a insanely wacky concept.
But do you believe it?
What a premise.
Oh,
Let me ask
100%.
you, do you this is what the whole movie has to hang
Yes.
on.
Rests on that.
Yes.
Do you fucking buy that Nicolas Cage is really John Travolta in his body or whatever? Did they switch bodies? Do you believe it?
Well, yes, you believe it.
And that's if you can get that part, because that's the most unbelievable, crazy fucking batshit thing. If you can make that work, then the rest of the movie's on rails. Like John Woo knows what he's doing with the rest of this movie, but that's the big hump that you got to get over. That's going to be taking place throughout the entire film, and they do it, and it really makes for fucking great drama.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
he's in his house, fucking his wife.
Yeah, they both
hitting on his daughter.
They both enrich each other's relationships with their people as the other, which is great.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so good.
It's so good. So that's the thing.
On just on that thing, on that point.
Yeah.
The best parts of it is, like, in the beginning you get Nicolas Cage as Castor Troy, and he's doing the crazy eyes, and you have the scene where he's in the choir.
Yes, when
and
he's a priest.
headbanging, and then grabs the girl on the ass and like opens his mouth all wide, and it's just going, oh my god, Nick Cage is off his rocker.
Oh my god!
But then later on, when he's Nicolas Cage, when he's Castor Troy, when he's Sean Archer,
It's confusing. Yes.
in Castor Troy's body,
yes.
and then he has to act like as if Sean Archer was doing an impersonation of Castor Troy. Following me here. He acts different. He acts like he's acting like Castor Troy, but he's acting like someone else doing Castor Troy, which is fucking unbelievable.
It's such a mind fuck.
It's so subtle.
Yeah.
How different he is.
Yeah.
Even though he's the same guy.
It's amazing.
It's like he's taking John Travolta's how he would play it as Castor Troy, and then John Travolta's doing the same thing. I think they're both great.
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage for me is like by far is like amazing.
Apparently, like Travolta told him to watch a bunch of his movies, and they would actually just watch each other to get each other's mannerisms on set, right? And they do. They both do a great job of playing the other in the other's body, pretending to be the other guy. Like, it's such a mind fuck of a project.
It's such a next level thing to have to do.
But so it plays off. But yeah, back to Rug's point, though. This fucking crazy, ridiculous premise, by the end of this movie, you are completely bought in, and you're like, it does absolutely work, which is the beauty of this movie.
Magic.
Yes, that
like
you
it is.
There's character growth. You start to feel for each other's predicaments, and it shouldn't work. It's fucking ridiculous.
Shouldn't work. But there's what they add to it is that little touch where you guys both have mentioned, where Nicolas Cage as Castor Troy, Sean Archer as Castor Troy, gets to see the damage he's done as Sean Archer and his single-mindedness to catch this guy that he's put this lady in this his baby mama through all this hell.
Yeah.
And there's the scene where he goes, as long as I promise you, you will never hear from Sean Archer again. And it's him saying that as Sean Archer, as Castor Troy, and you're like, they didn't need to do that. They could have just played with the whole them and the body swap thing. But they added the little touches where they're each enriching each other's lives and learning more about. And like you even get like John Travolta is like, he has to be at the grave of the kid he accidentally killed, and he's like trying to comfort her, but he's like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to be here." But he's also like, kind of like almost going, "Damn, I kind of did that to this family."
Yeah,
shit.
He's seeing the results. That's a good point. Oh my god,
it's so good.
I love how Castor as Archer brings romance back to his marriage. Right? And gets his wife excited and then beats up the girlfriend's like rapist boyfriend and gives her a knife that comes back to fucking bite him in the ass. That's fucking brilliant too. I love all of that.
Yeah, they don't need to do that, but he shows fatherness in his own way to that girl. That's not his father, not his daughter.
The whole twist that Castor had a son, and at the end, Archer gets his son back. It's Castor's son, but he's going to raise him. I was like, oh my God.
Did you get the feels at that point?
I did. I kind of did.
I did too.
Like, oh my God.
I did too. I didn't think this movie could make me feel something, but I actually felt bad. I felt like it was bittersweet. You know?
You're absolutely right.
The origin opening is like reminded me of The Punisher, where it's a mob hit and his family gets taken out.
One thing, real quick though, because while you were there, and I don't want it to leave my head. The movie should have fallen apart once Sean Archer fucks his wife,
right?
Because how do they have the same dick size? How does she not know that his dick is not? That's not
Maybe the lights were off.
Oh, you've grown. Oh, Sean, what happened?
She hadn't experienced it in a while. I don't know.
How do they overcome the dick thing?
Maybe they took care of that. Maybe it was they didn't. They should have.
There's also the slight problem where John Travolta is probably 20 pounds overweight, whereas Nicolas Cage is not.
I think that as I said at the beginning of the show, Nicolas Cage likes to eat peaches, so maybe his dick never came into the picture.
Oh, first of all, the lines. First of all, look, if they can 3D print faces, they can 3D print a couple of dicks to put on there and make it. You gotta.
I think it was just faces. I don't think it was.
It wasn't any other.
I don't think they switched.
Well,
dicks.
they had those inserts they put into for the bone structure. Yeah.
Some great lines, just like so quotable. Where Nick Cage is just like, "Let's go, I'm bored." And he's like, I could eat a peach for hours. And then he's like, if I was to let you suck my tongue, would you be grateful? Like, what a sleazy guy. I thought Cage playing Castor Troy, like that would be an amazing Joker. Like it reminded me of kind of a crazy Joker. I would have loved to see Nick Cage.
Well, had we seen Travolta play a villain before till this point?
He was a villain in Broken Arrow. That's Travolta.
Yes, that's also John Woo,
and
too.
John Woo, Travolta, and Christian Slater. He's the bad guy in that.
Ooh, you good looking.
This is a predicament. What a predicament. Like, what a predicament. Like, they're both so good at being each other that it was just alarming.
Well, what about the, if we're pointing out how awesome they both are, what about the weird performance by Castor Troy's brother? What is that guy going for? The Pollux?
Yeah.
We did this little thing there, Castor. And
they had to be like polar opposites, I believe. That's what they had to do.
Well, also that, but then why does Castor Troy or Pollux in jail is looking at Castor Troy like, this isn't my brother? But what would make him ever think that there was technology that existed that could potentially switch the faces of people? And what would make him even suspect that? He'd just be like, oh, my brother's acting weird. But immediately Pollux is like, nah, that's not my brother. There's something going on.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Very, very strange performance by the actor. The whole, you're going, what are you doing? Oh, this is going to be great.
What about the bald guy? That's Nick Cassavetes, I believe.
Cassavetes is Dietrich, yes.
And now, did he make out with his sister?
Was that his sister? Gina Gershon. Because that's his girl.
I was confused about their relationship.
That's his sister.
Are they brother and sister? And he made out with her? And he made out with her?
That's not his son? She goes, he's your son too. What does she mean? Just that he had to take care of him?
Well, yeah, but that's not his. That
was his sister. Okay, yeah. So they were a thing. That's his son. Then it was.
But he made out with her, didn't he?
At the very end, after he got shot, they kissed.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That
was weird.
It was the shootout at the end when they hit the...
Well,
I couldn't figure out what was going on.
we're talking about a movie where people's faces get switched. So
I'd like to take his face off. What?
Face off.
I'm gonna take his face.
No more drugs for that
off.
guy.
No more drugs. It's great when he gets high. It's so fucking great. So
When he wakes up after getting high and he has the gun pointed and his eyes are all crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, only Nick Cage can do those crazy eyes. No one, I've never seen anyone else pull off crazy
You
eyes
think that
like Nick
Travolta
Cage.
would pull that off and do that more a little bit, but he
dude,
didn't.
there's so many great when he's in the prison and he just has the first fight and he's like, I'm Castor Troy. He's fucking wigging out. He's unhinged.
Dubov, I didn't fuck your wife.
This is such
Let's get out of here.
Even the first time he wakes up with Castor Troy's face, he smashes the mirror. He's just like, fuck you. It's like, what? What are you doing? Like, he is so unhinged in this. It's fantastic.
Well, it makes sense, though, for the character. This is the guy that he's been hunting and killed his son, and he wakes up,
and now
he has his mortal enemy's face on his face.
And then when he finds out that he killed everyone involved with the operation that nobody knows and nobody can reverse it, he's like, fuck. Let's talk about the John Woo moments of this movie. Ruggs, what do you love about John Woo?
Well, I love John Woo, and there's a lot of different reasons. And some people might say that his movies are cheesy because I've heard that comment every once in a while. But what he does is he tries to build a relationship between the protagonist and the antagonist. He tries to show that sometimes that they're talking to each other before they're killing each other.
Right.
There's always like these conversations, and there's these moments, and there's these callbacks to things. But so he's got like a good foundation of a real story there that involves all the characters. And then you have the action, and the action is super stylistic. He slows the camera down.
Yeah.
He's very good with sound editing. And then you have the typical, like, he always describes his action scenes like a ballet, like that. They're all these like kind of moving parts that kind of happen, and they're there to kind of create action and tension and drama. So, you know, you just can't fire a gun. You got to spin and fire a gun.
Leaping
you gotta,
in the air, two guns with an explosion behind you is peak John fucking Woo.
Yeah, you got to slide across something.
Yeah, you got to be sliding down a
break
railing.
through glass as you're firing.
Yeah.
You got to fire around your back or with your arms crossed or as you dive backwards. Like, that's what you have to do in a John Woo film.
The golden guns, the slow, like before Zack Snyder slow-mo, you had John Woo slow-mo. And it was just very stylish, and it worked. But
wait, let me get into it. Let me give a couple examples.
Yeah.
You saw this in Hard Target.
Yeah.
They do the back-to-back where they're talking and loading the guns.
One. Yep.
They do the thing where they're firing at each other from close range and no one's hitting each other.
Yeah, yes. That was my question.
You have lots of Mexican standoffs.
Yes.
Doves.
Yes.
Churches.
Yep.
These are all John Wooisms that he does in all these films. One of the best scenes, though, is the gunfight where he's got Somewhere Over the Rainbow playing in the background.
Oh, the kid is listening. Yes.
And the kid's, because he's listening to Somewhere Over the Rainbow, he's not crying.
Yeah.
There's just, I do see how the style, like, it could be a little cheesy, especially looking back, but it is pretty awesome. And from what I read, the end of Hard Target, he wanted to do a boat chase scene, and he didn't get to do it there, so he gets to do it in this movie.
He did it here. Yeah,
He's like, I'm gonna staple it on to the end of this movie.
He gets, it's literally stapled on. It doesn't need to happen, and you'll get what seems to be a reoccurring theme in the 80s and 90s, where they keep cutting to the stunt doubles that look nothing like the guys that have been fighting throughout the entire movie.
They're flying.
You don't have CG stunt doubles yet.
Well, again, practical effects, largely practical effects in this movie. Why it looks so tangible, but that last
they don't care.
No,
they don't care. Like they don't care that the stunt double, like that the one guy playing Nicolas Cage character doesn't look anything like him.
They're flying
the
through
guy
the
that's
air.
not fat. The guy's not fat like John Travolta. They just don't. I think that's what makes it kind of a moment in time and makes it kind of fun to look back at. Is they just didn't care. They did not even take the time to find anyone that looks even remotely.
That's just how it was done. That was
the standard operating procedure.
Look, people are dumb. They're not going to notice this.
You know these are stunt doubles.
I have to say though, in the advent of 4K, watching this film, there was a lot of wires that I could totally see.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
I didn't
so
see
many
any of the wires. Oh man,
so many wires. You could see people getting pulled on cables. No, I would say there was at least 5 distinct times. I'm like, oh, you could totally see that wire. It's in the shot.
That's wow.
Like there's one where like Nick Cage is like falling through something, and maybe the like a glass, like a thing.
Yeah, he falls through the
and you
skyline.
can see the wire. You can clearly see it.
How about when he gets shoved in front of a jet engine and doesn't burn, but just gets blown back and knocked out? Not burned at all, even though there was a jet engine. He doesn't die or get burned, and it was a jet engine in his face.
Well, he goes into a coma.
He does go into the coma, and then when he wakes up, that reminded me of the Joker, too. He's got no fucking face. The reflection in the guy's eyeglasses was fucking frightening. I was like, this is turning into like a horror movie a little bit with him.
I remember watching that scene as a kid where he wakes up without the face. He calls the doctor in. He doesn't have the face. They don't linger on that shot. And then you cut back to them burning those people alive. And I went, man, like as a kid, I was going, this movie's gotten real dark real quick.
Yes, it's like Darkman all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Also, the other John Woo thing, you get close-ups of people's eyes looking very dramatically. I love that. There's some great, again, more great lines where one guy goes, shut the fuck up, and the other guy goes, watch your fucking mouth. They're holding guns right in each other's face. And then they're back-to-back against the mirror, right? And then they're like, fuck it, let's just kill each other. They turn and they shoot. It's a great-looking visual. But they shoot right at each other and nobody hits anybody? Like, how the fuck did you miss? You were standing right in front of me.
They ricochet, you know.
It is a good shot, though, because they look at each other. They see their reflection in the mirror. That's who they're intending to kill.
But then the other guy pushes the mirror on top of the other guy.
Yeah, then he shoves it down. Yeah, he's looking at who he's shooting at, actually, but it doesn't look. Yeah. Oh, that's wild. I didn't even think about that. That's fucking mirror moment.
Yeah.
And then the fucking boat chase is wild because the boat goes through the police boat and it's on fire. And then the next shot, it's just fine, and it's still going, and there's no fire. And then Sean Archer's water skis barefoot, and then they go flying through the air, and you just see clearly it's stunt doubles flying through the air.
Oh, it's so bad.
So many boats explode at the end of this movie. It's hilarious. And then you think they're down, and he's not down, and they're still fighting, and then he's got a harpoon his ass.
Yeah, he's got
never down.
He doesn't go down. He's like Jason.
That's the other great line where he's just screaming, die, like a fucking
Nicolas
psycho.
Cage is doing a psychotic thing where he's cutting off his own face.
Yes.
He's like, you're going to have my face forever.
Yes.
He's like cutting, or I forget what the exact line, something along those lines. Travolta does it, and he's literally taking a fucking like glass and cut. I'm like, I remember seeing that the first time going, oh my God, this is fucking brutal.
Cut his fucking face off again. Oh, the shootout of the church is great. It's just a fucking fun movie.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is a lot of fun. It shouldn't work at all, but you got John Woo giving it enough style and there's enough sprinkles of heart in there, and then you have just 2 great performances by Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
Out of John Woo's American movies, I think that this one's probably the best. Or the most, I like Mission Impossible 2, because it's got crazy action sequences that are like over the top, and doves and all the same kind of stuff. And the budget's a little higher and there's a little bit more, but it's got Tom Cruise in it. But this one's actually better. Like you think that one had way more star power, way more cachet behind it, but this one shines because I don't know, it's just. He went balls to the wall.
Yeah, it's stylistically thrilling. Those animatronic dummies they created during the face switch operation. How do you think they look now? It still kind of holds up. They're weird looking. You can tell.
You can definitely tell.
But they were well made.
But they looked pretty convincing,
right? It was pretty well made. I was like, this is a crazy fucking procedure.
It didn't bother me.
Yeah, it works. And also, when he finds out the prison is on this oil rig. And he jumps off. That's actually Nick Cage confronting his fear of heights. He actually did the 200-foot jump into the water, which is also hilarious. Because then you
gotta love that. Yeah, you gotta love that he does that jump.
And then he gets away, and then the next time he's fine.
Yeah, you gotta love the whole. He did a 200-foot jump into water. That oil rig's probably in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, and then how did he get home?
And the next scene, he's back wherever the hell that beats is being L.A.
He's in the city.
They don't explain it at all.
With clothes on, and he's fine.
The way they explain it is Travolta's character goes, "Did they find a body? No, then he's not dead." I can just tell. It's like, oh well, yep. Now we know that Sean Archer or Castor Troy. Sean Archer as Castor Troy just has impeccable swimming skills and survivability.
He's
also Aquaman. He's Michael Phelps or something.
Yeah.
Apparently,
how about that prison though?
Oh yeah,
that
with the boots,
the magnetic
the
shoots.
magnetic boots were crazy.
I was watching that even at the time, and to this day, I'm going, why don't they do that?
That's a great idea.
They should do that.
Wasn't that in another movie? I feel like that was also used. It wasn't Demolition Man. There was some other movie that they had the same thing.
It's almost so out of place,
right?
Because the movie's set in a modern setting. Yet the prison looks like it's straight out of Demolition Man.
Yes, that's the sci-fi. It gets a little sci-fi in there.
It gets really sci-fi right there.
Also, as Sean Archer as Castor in that prison escape, you see moments where he's trying not to kill people, but he does end up killing a lot of guards trying to get out when he's supposed to be not trying to kill the guards. But he
he's like, don't shoot them.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right. And then he kills like two guys 2 seconds later.
People. Like you see him shooting people in the knee occasionally. And he tries to save that one guy, that one inmate. And I was like, who are you friends with now? What is going on? I guess all these people are innocent. You don't want anyone to die, but you got to get the fuck out of there. Oh, and then he licks his daughter, John Travolta, as Sean Archer as Castor licks his daughter at the end. Which is also,
that's pretty disturbing.
And the daughter's got to be like, why is my dad trying to shoot me? What the fuck is going on?
How about how weird the whole touching the face thing? That's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
It's Archer. He'll rub your face.
That's a total John Wooism.
But who lets their dad? If my dad went to touch my face like that, I'd be like, I'm going to break your arm. Don't ever touch my face like that. What are you doing?
Let me wipe a booger on you.
And the whole with touching face thing, I'm just going, this is such a strange element of this.
They could have come up with something. They could have come up with something that wasn't as goofy looking.
Yeah.
Who greets? Have you met anyone that does that?
Just let me smear your face.
Like kiss forehead or something.
Yeah.
Or,
just kiss the forehead.
Or it could be like a nose kiss, like touch nose to nose, a little fun thing. But no,
or
he's
like a head, like a forehead to forehead thing where you just kind of linger there.
It's like, no,
he went with the whole, I'm going to rub my my dirty ass hand down your face.
I'm going to rake my hand over you. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Okay, thanks,
It's
Dad.
even weirder when they do it with. What's weird when they do it with the kids, it's even weirder when they do it with adults.
He does it to his wife. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Joan
what the fuck are you doing?
Stop it.
What did you think? What did you think? Did you think that the casting of the wife was a little weird?
Joan Allen as the wife, she's a great actor, but I
felt like she was slumming it.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have,
they got this very stoic, very kind of a madam-y type woman as the wife.
And then Gina Gershon, also a great cameo by Gina Gershon.
It's hot.
Yeah, I love seeing Gina Gershon. Dominic Swain playing the daughter also grew up to do quite a bunch of things as a young Dominic Swain. There apparently on the Blu-ray, there's an alternate ending at the end where Travolta, he's come back home with his own face, Sean Archer, and he's looking in the mirror, and it cuts, and briefly he sees Castor Troy's face in the mirror looking back at him. I thought they were going to do
I think they went with the right ending.
They did. I thought they were going to do a thing where Sean Archer would look at the camera and devilishly smile like it's still Castor, and they tricked him or something. No, but that wouldn't make any sense.
No, maybe, but I think going with the feel good ending.
Yeah, and the kid, then they bring the kid in.
There's a lot more heart in this ending, and the build up to it makes it. I think it fits.
It did. It gave you the feels. What he's got a kid back, and he's taking care of Castor.
Taking care of Mini Castor.
Mini Castor. Any other?
Although. How does that go over with his wife? Where she goes, he's like, I got a surprise for you, and he rolls in this kid, and he's like, "Yep,
this is
the man's son that killed our kid.
Yeah, this is it.
I didn't run this by you. I'm just taking home this kid. We have another kid.
We're gonna replace our dead kid with this kid. How's that sound?
But I'm just gonna surprise you. Yeah. It's like, hey, this is a puppy. Here we go.
It's poetic. It's poetic in the moment, but in reality, it's very fucked.
Yeah. How does that go over? How does that go over with his wife? I think that's something you got to talk about.
Yeah,
it's awkward. She said,
"It's the '90s."
Yeah. They're like, oh come on in.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We got a new son. Well, look, it's a
we
wash.
got a new son.
Replace our old son.
Not only do we have a new son, but it's our son's killer's son.
Wait till we tell him about his dad when he gets older. He is not going to believe what happened.
Wait till we tell them why we adopted him.
Yes.
Because you remind me of my dead son who your father killed. How's that going to go over?
That's going to be an awkward conversation when he's like 15.
That kid's not having a great childhood once he finds all that out.
Maybe the kid should be what the sequel is about. Speaking of sequels, of earlier this year, word broke that Adam Wingard, who directed Godzilla vs. Kong, right? He did that last one. He is directing a face-off. It's not a reboot, he says. He's calling it a sequel.
So, does Godzilla put on King Kong's face? Is that what happens?
Face-off, yes.
Oh, I would fucking love that.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
I know that's not true.
Well, listen, we can only hope.
I mean, I'm not mad about if they do a face-off sequel, it's better than a reboot, right?
Yes. Would you bring back Travolta and Cage?
Or is it a
sequel?
reboot?
No, a sequel and bring back Cage and Travolta somehow.
Wow, that would be weird.
Would that be crazy?
Although this article is
are they swapping faces again?
Man,
they would have
strange.
That would be
This
stupid.
article
Like,
is
how would they
from
do that
March
again?
of this year. There hasn't been any newer news about this face-off
Yeah, this
sequel.
article is from 2021. So.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's from last year. That's when that was like the last. There wasn't anything more recent, so.
Well, Adam Wingard's still working on the sequel to Godzilla
Yes, he
vs.
is.
Kong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Called Godzilla vs. Kong Again. And
But could you make this movie today and still make it work and make the concept fucking believable?
Some things, the concept in and of itself could, we know it can work. This is a testament to acting and casting.
Yeah.
Right? You cast it right, you get the right actors, you can pull off the convention of somebody pretending to be another person. Now, will it be a fucking John Woo action film? It'll be an Adam Wingard action film, which Adam Wingard has a talent for making moments, but not really a talent with story at this point. And that's what the linchpin of this movie was.
Yeah.
As good as the action is, what clinches this movie is the performance and the believability of this ridiculous concept.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The movie, the premise sells it, but the
I don't think Wingard's got the stones to do it.
Yeah, the performances and the actual story made the movie.
And I mean, part of it is such a movie of its time also, and yeah, John Woo's little touches and directing with the performances.
Man, I'm looking at the poster for this movie. This is the first time I ever noticed that they were sharing an eye.
Oh. What do you mean? That's like half Travolta's face and half
yeah, but you see in the middle there's the eye.
There's an eye in the middle. Oh, it perfectly lines up. Oh,
I'm seeing a different poster.
Okay.
There's one where the one on Wikipedia is no eye, but there's one poster where they have the same half faces and then they're sharing one eye.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I see that. There it is. Yeah, with the whole bunch of them. And oh my God, that's creepy.
It is creepy. That's pretty clever.
It's good. It's a fucking fun movie. Love John Woo. All right, let's rate this one. Anthony, what would you give face/off?
So when I did my triumvirate of Nick Cage movies,
Yeah.
I actually thought Con Air was my most fun.
Yeah.
But I think that was because I hadn't seen Con Air and I've seen Face Off so many times. But now that we've been talking about Face Off's the better one. I'm going to go 8.5.
Nice.
Actually, I'm going to go 9 out of 10 for Face Off.
Oh, whoa, Anthony going hard.
Coming hard.
Wow.
Face Off is just... It's a special fucking movie.
It is.
There's no. I mean, it's a body swap movie.
Yeah.
So we've seen body swap movies.
Yeah.
We've seen like Look Who's Talking, but it's just. I mean, the line it's so quotable. There's just something special, and I think unlike Con Air, which is fun. I love Con Air. I think Con Air is great. This one has the heart that we've mentioned a few times.
Yep.
And the different perspectives and the depth of actually going into the families of both guys and seeing how each guy damaged each other's family and then is now trying to enrich each other's family playing another person. It's just a fucking special movie. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I love it. Ruggs, what would you give it?
When Nicolas Cage shows up at the airport and he's got that fucking the priest outfit that looks like a trench coat blowing in the wind and he's wearing the red shirt and then he's getting his things. There's not a cooler shot in any 90s film than that shot right there.
Double gold guns.
And it's like sound editing with the wind whipping through the hair. Like, it's fucking great. And it's not only, so it's got moments of great cinematography in it. It's got moments of ridiculous stuntmen and you can see the wires. It's not a perfect film. So but the thing is, for every fault, it's got a boon. Like there's something that's just amazing about it. So it always recovers itself. It's got this duality, just like what's going on in the story.
Yeah.
Anthony, you went 9.
Yeah.
I'll join you with that.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Yeah, I'll join you.
All right. Wow.
I think it's one of my favorite action movies of all time. If I was gonna say 20 best action movies, it's easily in there. Probably in the top 10. Probably maybe even in the top 6.
Holy shit.
So,
This movie's going to have a run in the 90s tournament. I'll agree. I also...
If we're up to Ruggs.
If it was up to Ruggs, we'll see. He's going to be going
we
heavy
have
for
two
that
other
one.
judges, though.
Yeah. I enjoyed this movie again watching it. I like it better than Con Air. Con Air is great, but he's playing a good guy in Con Air, and he has a thing there. This unhinged, crazy Nick Cage playing John Travolta playing Nick Cage is it's amazing. It is such a mind fuck of a role that they had to put themselves into. I love John Woo's stylistic shots. I mean, ever since we've been in college, Ruggs knows this. Just, you had me at jumping in the air with 2 guns and explosions behind you. That's all I need. I'm going to give
2 guns. Dual guns is a big thing.
You also always need to have 2 guns. It's you're either sliding or fucking spinning or jumping. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Also, it's a great movie. It's fucking great. Great John Woo flick.
All right.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's awesome.
I'm still thinking Ruggs went top 20, top 6. I'm not surprised, but I am kind of surprised.
Yeah.
He really loves this movie.
I do love this movie. This is a movie that I would watch just like you described it when it was on. We were like, oh, we got to watch this fucking movie.
Hell yeah.
And, I've been quoting, oh, what a predicament. Like, I've been saying that my whole life. And I remember, like, when you said Con Air, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot all the stuff that went on there. It just kind of like, but there's distinct things that I will never forget about this movie. So it's memorable. Like Nicolas Cage, like staring into the mirror like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Like that, like comes back, like him going face off. Like I remember those things like clear as day, clear as a bell. Like when he diffuses the bomb and it has an orgasm. Like I remember there's some memorable shit. And yeah, like, and Papa's got a brand new bag. You have something that I crave. And he walks in and he leans in and he grabs his cigarettes. And the daughter's just like, what the fuck? Like, I just love that moment.
Great.
It's a great moment.
Yeah.
And, there's some great shit in that. And, where he's they're on the fucking plane and there's the fucking Hummers coming at the plane. I'm like, you fucking crazy?
He's playing chicken in the plane.
Yeah, so just like great moments that are like John Woo moments and just crazy action
He
movie
shoots
moments.
the lady on the plane and then throws her off, and then he just gives this look like, well, what are you gonna do? It's like the most ridiculous look. Like, what is that?
Oh yeah, that dummy like gets beat up really bad, and then
the plane runs over.
and she's like kind of fine when they actually. She should have been mangled. Like
she gets
wasn't.
run over by the plane. It is so. It's
So that's
so
what I said.
crazy.
Like, yeah, there's so many things you could point out
Papa's
that
got
are
a
just
brand new
ridiculously
bag.
bad. Like Anthony said about the stuntman, about the dummies, about the lines you could see, and just some of the ridiculous shit that's like completely improbable. But all of those things have something else to bolster it back, so it doesn't ever lose any. It doesn't lose an inch.
How about when
it just keeps pushing?
How about when he gives his boss? He incites a heart attack with his boss by telling him he's Castor Troy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I want to tell you.
Punches him in the,
He
in the
neck
chest.
punches him.
Oh, yeah, neck
Castor
punches
Troy.
him.
Is that what happened? Yeah, I was
Castor
like,
Troy.
what did he do? And then he like chokes him.
No, the guy had heart problems. I think he hits him in the heart,
Oh.
and then he tells him as he hits him right before he's going to hit him in the heart. He tells him he's Castor Troy, so
Dude,
he incites his heart attack.
And everybody to Sean Archer is like, how's your dead son, Sean? I was like, Jesus Christ, these people.
My one of the most cringe-worthy things is Margaret Cho's obligatory. Did they take the fucking stick out of your ass line?
Oh, yeah, Margaret Cho's in here, too.
I remember when I watched this back, I went, I forgot that Margaret Cho is in this fucking movie.
Like they're like, we need to have Margaret Cho say something funny, but they don't give her anything funny to say. It was like the worst. Like, give her a better line. She's funnier than that. Come on. Anyway,
what a film.
Oh,
what a
so
film.
much fun. All right, look, there's no news from the nation this week. So we're just going to wrap up with some What Are We Watching? Hold that fart in, Ruggs. Save it for next week. The people will be waiting.
Oh my God, he's gonna. I don't know if he'll be survive.
You might explode. By
I don't know if you're supposed to do that.
Why is there no news from the nation? I can't. Nobody was talking on the nation.
You know what? I just there's nothing that caught my fancy that it was like put it in here. Sometimes I'm going to save it. Look,
all right, nation, you've been warned.
Sometimes you got
right. You're slacking, nation.
Sometimes you got to.
Imran's not finding you interesting anymore.
Sometimes you got to
not fucking bring your A game, nation.
It's not that. It's just I knew this would take a whole time discussing 2 movies, so I just kept it slim.
Wow. No, Nation, you should be offended.
No, you can't let Imran walk his way out.
Sometimes you got to take something away so that people miss it, and then it reinvigorates and lights a fire under their ass. How about that?
Nothing interesting ever comes from the nation, according to Imran.
You guys want to pick something from the nation? Look it up, pull it up, and we can do it.
That was your thing, and you decided it wasn't interesting. You're like an editor. You're like an editor.
I can't wait to hear what next week's nation's going to be about.
It's Labor Day.
Responses to Imran.
It's Labor Day. I didn't want to do any labor.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm being lazy. I didn't.
All right.
But what are we watching, Anthony? You watch anything else besides Con Air and Face Off?
We can talk about some of the stuff that's on here, but the thing that's not on here that I watched is I finished up the 4 movies that are in the tournament for Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, the Jean-Claude quadrology.
Quadrology that are in our tourney. He's made a lot of movies, but I watched the 4.
Okay.
And the last 2 I watched this week were Time Cop, which I've never seen.
Yeah.
And Universal Soldier, which I've seen plenty of times.
Oh, man.
So I rewatched Universal Soldier. I just went to eat.
Did you watch Double Impact?
Double Impact's not in our tourney, so I haven't watched it.
Oh, wait, it didn't make it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I did watch Time Cop. I like Time Cop a lot, actually.
I can't wait to watch that one again.
Time Cop was was more fun than I anticipated.
Clearly, the bad guy's great in that one.
Yeah, great bad guy. Clearly like a RoboCop Terminator amalgamation of a movie, but really well done. And Universal Soldier, I'm like, where should we shoot her? In the stomach? No. In the chest? In the head. Dolph Lundgren is off his rocker in this movie. The way he is acting, I remember it being like that, but just a fresh reminder of how crazy he's acting in this movie.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
It's empty. He's like when he's bashing him, Jean-Claude Van Damme against the car, he's like, you need to follow chain of command. When I say jump, you say how high. Got it? And he just fucking jam. Oh my God, there's so many good quotes from Dolph Lundgren. And then also, as Ruggs mentioned last week, and I said earlier, I just want to eat when he's at the fucking diner. And he just eats. They cut to him and he's eating like 20 plates of food. He learned how to eat by looking at these country folks eating steak and mashed potatoes. The reaction he has when he puts the mashed potatoes in his mouth, he's just like, oh, this is good. Putting foreign guys playing robot type characters, it always works. It always works.
Gonna work. It's always funny.
Works. It actually suits them to do that kind of stuff.
Because they seem very alien and robot, and
foreign guys playing robots is the best.
Like that makes Arnold more frightening in Terminator. Is that he's got this
Jean-Claude
accent.
Van Damme plays an awesome fucking weird robot thing that he's got going on.
Yeah. They should. I mean, they made other Universal Soldier movies.
They did, yeah, they did. I've seen the one with Goldberg in it. That one's not good.
Yeah,
no. Then there's other ones I haven't watched.
I think that one of them is good.
Well, they come back. They bring them back for a few of them, and I think Scott Adkins is in one of them.
Oh wow,
I might be wrong on that, but they made like 4 or 5.
So we got 4 Van Damme movies, 3 Nick Cage movies, right, in the tournament.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh, this is gonna be a bloodbath. I gotta watch all of those. Now that I gotta finish the Nick Cage trilogy, and now I gotta catch up on the Van Damme.
Well, if you're on the John Woo train, watch Hard Target.
Oh yeah,
Hard Target and Face Off are very similar.
Yeah.
In terms of their obviously because of the style.
Love the Woo.
But other things I've watched, which we might want to talk about. I did watch She-Hulk this week, and I've watched House of the Dragon. So
you caught up on all 3 episodes of House of the Dragon?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm caught up. She-Hulk, everyone's talking about the twerking with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, that's already all on the internet, and it's kind of funny.
I think honestly, I laughed at it. I didn't think it was a big deal. People are going nuts about it in either one way or the other. They're saying a lot of memes that like Tony Stark died for this.
This is what Tony Stark died for, by the way.
I just find if you're going to give all of these speeches about women and blah blah blah, and all of a sudden then you just start twerking. It's just incongruent.
But
like,
I never thought we would have seen She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. That was wild.
like She-Hulk would probably. She-Hulk is always sexy and exposing herself and sex positive.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it's just this show is kind of like doesn't know what it wants there to be. Like actually, her twerking is probably more like John Byrne era She-Hulk.
Yeah,
like being very free with her body.
Yeah.
But it's just weird.
It's canon.
She's like, I want people to see me as. He's always like, I want people to see me as a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I'm a smart lawyer. But then let me just drop it like it's hot right now. Let me fucking let me my butt cheeks look like they're Jello.
Had a big booty.
I do enjoy that they're kind of acknowledging the discourse around the current conversation during the show. You know, the whole everyone's becoming a woman. They put that in there, and then they put I like how she goes A plot and B plot coming together,
connecting. Nice. Yeah,
I think it's a cute little show. I'm not offended by it. I know the internet's going crazy, but I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, it's a fine show. It's just sometimes it doesn't know what it wants to do.
I mean, it was
trying to do everything.
It was fun, and it was like really a lot of legal comedy in this one, and the Abomination bit was fun, and Wong shows up, and you get the story, and everything's explained. It was fun. Megan Thee Stallion canon now in the MCU. Does she have powers? Is she a client? Did she sign up to be a client at the end? Meaning she has powers of some kind? I don't know.
She has pussy power.
Yeah.
She has wet pussy.
She does have wet ass pussy.
Dennis, the dick was hilarious. Like that character, I thought.
Is that the song she does, or am I thinking of somebody
you're
else?
absolutely right. It's called WAP.
All right, good.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Look at you! Look at you being all trendy and hip. It's a fun show. I love the.
I'm gonna regret saying this tomorrow. But like whatever. It's her song. Okay, I'm just.
It is her song.
I just fucked up the title.
The only thing that's maybe weird, I saw this criticism from Sean Chandler.
Yeah,
is the show kind of this show is so different than a lot of the Marvel shows. It almost is as if it's its own thing. Like everyone's acting not like they would normally act in the real world. Like it's a little bit more elevated, so it's kind of strange, but whatever. I don't care.
It is. It's very meta.
I don't put a lot of thought into something that they're not trying to go for anything huge. So
that's the thing.
I did think it was kind of strange that the plot revolved around this woman who defrauded this man, but the whole episode is about how this man's an asshole.
Yeah, but
I just feel like
he got his money. She got justice. Like they did make her pay.
Like she's treating Abomination with more class than the guy that she works with. Do you get what I'm saying? It's weird.
Delusional. I would believe that he did think that. Yes. No, but that guy is hilarious, and he's a dick.
Yeah.
He goes, what
was the line?
There's a woman over there. Let me go hit on it.
I'm going to go talk to it.
I'm going to talk to it. Who says that? Does anybody say that?
No, it's exaggerated.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's so exaggerated to the point of this is clearly its own little pocket. Like they're not even doing their own thing. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah, sitcoms are always like in their own little TV universe, right? And this is like heavily in its own little TV sitcom self-aware universe.
Okay, so the quality of the show is fine.
Yeah,
all right,
it's fine.
But what about the CG is kind of getting dodgier by the minute. Every time,
tough.
It's tough.
I mean, her walking around is tough. And I think it's when she's in. It was perfectly fine when she was with the Hulk in a jungle. But I think when you throw her in an office with other people that aren't CG, it's tough, especially when it's like bright.
Yeah.
When you have two CG characters playing off of each other, it's fine. Right. When you have all these real people, and then you can see that the frame rate's not really the same, or the pacing and the weight isn't there.
She's just like a little like smooth or shiny or something. I don't know.
I thought about it. I think it's a lot of it's Uncanny Valley stuff where Hulk and Abomination are exaggerated monsters.
Yeah.
So the eye lets you go, okay, that's fine. But she's just a tall woman that's green.
That looks like Tatiana Maslany. Yes.
Right. She's just a 6'7" woman.
Also, Abomination, when he gets big, he doesn't have a penis. Is that how that works? And then when he gets smaller,
I think if you freeze it, he's wearing underwear or like a shawl or something on his.
Okay, I thought he was naked. Maybe he's hanging.
No, I don't think he's got a dick. I think I'm with Imran here. I think he's dickless.
Take a look at it. I think he's wearing. I
didn't look at his dick long enough.
Next time stare his crotch in that one.
I need to look at it.
And those
I took a look.
It wasn't cellmates. That was soulmates. He's got 7 broads there waiting to take him to a farm or something. That was,
And he takes off on them at the end, according to the credits. In the credit drawings, he like takes off.
Oh, he runs. Okay. Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. But it's a fun show. Whatever. It's a half-hour comedy. I'm digging it. Let's talk about House of the Dragon real quick. What are we feeling 3 episodes in? Everybody caught up?
Yeah.
I felt that.
Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
I was like watching this episode. I'm like, this is taking very long. I don't know what's the point of this. And then they got to that scene
with battle at the end.
And I was like, whoa, all right.
That was dope.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this to happen this soon. And so we had a nice little action sequence.
Built from great drama, right? Of what was happening in the beginning of the show. That was Damon's reaction. Anthony, what do you think so far? You love it? You digging it?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think House of Dragon's really good. The only thing I wasn't expecting is how fast they're moving through time.
Yeah, this 3rd episode jumps ahead 3 years, which I was like, what? What happened? Okay.
They're jumping. They're definitely going fast. Even the jump from the 1st to the 2nd episode is months. It's a while.
Yeah.
I like everything. I see now what they're setting up where she's the heir, but no one really wants her to be the heir in Rhaenyra or whatever.
Yeah.
I can feel that those first 40 minutes I actually really enjoyed because you can feel the weight of what's going against Viserys and all the things that are pulling against him.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very they're doing a really good job putting all the pieces in place, but then also kind of keeping things a little bit unpredictable in that I still am surprised that things are happening. I like Damon's reaction to when he finds out that Viserys is going to help him. He still
like,
beats up the guy.
He's like, I'm going to fucking end this now because that's offensive to him because he's been there for like 3 years.
Yeah, there's the whole when they're betrothing Rhaenyra and one guy his hand suggests that he betroth him to his 2-year-old son, betroth her to her
the baby.
2-year-old brother.
I was like, what? The baby? To her own brother, yes. Her own stepbrother. He wanted Rhaenyra to marry the 2-year-old stepbrother. I was like, what? Is that what you just suggested?
He's all about women's empowerment. He's like, by the end, he goes, you're still the heir and you marry who you want to marry.
Yeah, he did. That was
know that's not going to work out, right?
Yeah.
We know that's not going to end up being the way it is. But yeah, there's good drama. It's well written. It's Game of Thrones is back, or House of the Dragon now.
The crab feeder was kind of cool, and that was kind
He walks out with the half of the dude.
Yeah, cut out. He's dragging him, and that's
you don't even see him kill him. He doesn't even get the dignity of being killed on fucking screen.
They didn't show it. He's just dragging his fucking cut up body. I was like, oh fuck! But the plan was great, luring him out as bait, which is the plan they mentioned, and he just does it.
But you see him like looking to the skies. He's like, "Where's this fucking dragon? I know it's coming."
Dragon, no dragon. And dude, we've gotten some great Dracarys moments already. I'm like, fucking Dracarys, these fuckers. I can't wait. And he comes down and Dracarys.
Hey man, look, some of the parts of it are slow, but it paid off at the end. Like I was like, oh fuck, the last like fucking 8 minutes of this show is like kicking ass. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
You got me pumped for the next episode, and that's what they have to do.
Absolutely, it's great. Game of Thrones is back now.
Can I lead this one and ask you guys?
Yes.
Because I have a personal connection to this place now.
Yes.
How is the most expensive show in the world doing right now?
This is a good question, Ruggs. Did you catch any of the 2-episode premiere?
I watched both of them.
Oh, you did. I did also.
I want to hear. Let's start with Ruggs because Ruggs was a little critical of this series even happening.
This is a showdown.
Yeah, this isn't directly working off Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're kind of freewheeling it a little bit. The casting's a little weird. I feel like when you're casting elves and you're casting stuff, you gotta. I think Nick Shev said this in one of our chats, and I'm like, dude, I totally agree, and I'm gonna mention it on the show. So yeah, I think that some of the casting could have been a little bit tighter. But I think overall, the adventure is. I'm kind of into the adventure. I don't understand the timeline. I don't understand like how all of a sudden we go from Harfoots to hobbits in like a couple hundred years. That's like 100 years is not. You can't evolve into a different species or be called something new. That's like too little. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they changed their way of doing it. They just call themselves hobbits, like the Romans call themselves the Byzantines. Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. But like it was just weird that that little amount of time is going to lead to hobbits. I do think that dude who falls from the sky is Gandalf.
Oh, that's who
And-
that is. I was wondering who that was. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's Gandalf. I might be wrong, but that's what I'm.
Because there's no wizards yet in this at this age of
That's
Lord of the
right.
Rings, right?
How does it look? Go ahead. Sorry,
it
keep
looks
going.
amazing,
It does.
and at times it looks breathtakingly amazing, and at other times it looks like a TV show. But I feel like that the visual eye candy that they give you, it's beautiful enough to be like worth like, oh, the price of admission. You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting my money's worth here. I'm getting to see fucking this very well rendered stuff. Now, are the orcs as cool as they and the trolls as cool as they make them in the movies? Not quite. I think the movies they got a little leg up on them with Weta and everything like that. But I feel like still looks great, and the fact that I've seen about 2 hours worth of this, and there's still hours left to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many hours we're going to see in this, but if they can keep this up throughout the whole thing and not like blow their load, it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm definitely down for the adventure. This is not Game of Thrones.
They're in,
right?
Yes.
I was just going to ask. This is basically Prime's. They're trying to get a Game of Thrones type show, you know, in terms of
no,
following.
but it's not. It's not Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is like it's a totally different animal. It's got dragons in it, and it's got people in
They
it. Blah blah blah. But this is
on Game of Thrones. They'll show you boobies and dick skin chopped off. I don't think they're going to do that. On
This
the
is
Rings
more
of Power.
of an adventure.
Yeah,
It's a
fantasy
fantasy adventure.
Yes.
It's well acted, and it is kind of it's kind of refreshing in a way. But yeah, I don't quite get it, but I'm on board. So
here's some stats.
Yeah.
There's going to be at least 5 seasons of this.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Amazon Prime is very committed to this, obviously, with the money they spent.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the first episode drew, I think, 25 million viewers.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
it would have been the season premiere.
rousing
First
success.
two. Yeah.
The so far rousing success, but I mean they have gigantic hopes for this show. Obviously, with the amount of money, but they want this to be a cultural thing, similar to Game of Thrones was. Obviously, different, brighter show, but lot going into this.
I will say you want to watch this on the biggest TV you can find. It is a big show. It is epic in scale, and it is beautiful looking at times. They do.
yeah, don't watch this on a computer.
No,
Filmed
don't
in New
watch this
Zealand.
on your phone. Filmed in New Zealand. It's they're flying around the map to different parts of Middle Earth, and you learn. So the story didn't lose me. They jump around a lot. There's a lot of different species. There's the elves. There's the people that live in Middle Earth. There's the Hartfoots. And in the end of the first episode, this dude falls from the sky and from a meteor. You're like, what the fuck's going on? So that was a great ending of the first episode. I'm enjoying it. I am in. I will follow, but I will say I think I enjoy the Game of Thrones a little bit better. It is different. Game of Thrones is more like political
Two
alliance
episodes.
drama. Yeah, 2 came out.
Couple other things to point out. Amazon spent $250 million to buy the rights.
Yep.
$465 on the first season alone.
Yep. That's $750
They've,
million.
as mentioned, committed to 5 seasons. The final sum should probably top $1 billion when they're done with the show. Funny, a couple things to note. Elon Musk tweeted about the show
Oh,
today.
he did.
He
What did he
goes,
say?
Tolkien is turning in his grave.
Oh, shit.
Almost every male character so far is a coward, jerk, or both. Only Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. So,
Oh boy. Well,
I like
it's
this.
It's true. It's true. That's not what Tolkien probably would have written.
Galadriel's pretty badass. This show was
'cause,
getting.
people are mad because this is not based on the Silmarillion. Is that what I read?
No, the Silmarillion is it is what Tolkien wrote, and so this is not. This is after the Silmarillion.
So it's their own.
And
thing.
the thing I thought was like, it's called Rings of Power. They should get to Rings of Power like at some point. Like,
Are
they
gonna
should at least allude
yeah,
to
Are
it.
they going to make any rings at all? Is yet
I
to
think
be
that's what the elf and is trying to get the dwarves to help him with. They make Mount Doom so they can
Durin
forge the
and
rings.
Elrod are fun together.
So I think this is what's going on. Sauron is pulling the strings behind to try and create the Rings of Power so he can have the one ring to rule them all.
I mean, I liked how Galadriel was like the only one who still wanted to not give up, and that she could sense he's still out there, and the rest of the fucking elves fucked off into the sky.
I just wish it wasn't Galadriel, because Galadriel is a character that we see later on, and she's not that person. Yeah.
This is a journey.
Well, one more question for me. I did watch the first 5 minutes just to see what a $500 million show looks like.
There's a lot of setup in the first 5 minutes.
I just looked at it and went, "Oh, this looks expensive."
Yeah.
I'm not really into Lord of the Rings, but if enough people are raving about it, but the natural comparison is there because these are both prequel shows running concurrently.
Yeah.
2 episodes of Lord of the Rings, 3 episodes of House of Dragon, or 2 episodes of Rings of Power, 3 episodes of House of Dragon. Imran, you said House of Dragon, you think it's better so far?
I'm enjoying...
It's the natural comparison, even though they're 2 different things.
It is the natural comparison. I'm enjoying House of Dragon.
I don't want to hear what Ruggs has to say after.
I'm enjoying House of Dragon more because I was more invested in that material that it's a prequel to than invested in Lord of the Rings. And I know Lord of the Rings is a lot older, and we wouldn't have Game of Thrones if it wasn't for Lord of the Rings. But the story did not scare me away so far. It is easy to follow. There's some cool creatures in the Lord of the Rings, the first 2 episodes, and some cool scenes where there's some fucking monsters and shit. So you got monsters here, you got dragons there. I'm just right now more connected to what's happening in the House of Dragon world. On Rotten Tomatoes, the Lord of the Rings was getting review bombed by people. So the audience score right now for the show is 39%. The tomato meter is 84%. House of Dragon audience score 84%. Tomato meter 85%. 1% higher on the House of Dragon.
So far, what do you think? I know it's 2 different things.
It's 2 different things. I think that let's put it in perspective here. Okay, Lord of the Rings, the trilogy that Peter Jackson made is great. Okay, it's got a lot to live up to.
What about the Hobbit trilogy?
Too much.
The Hobbit trilogy. Too much. It was too long. Like it didn't need to be 3 movies.
No.
They stretched it into it should have been 1 movie.
Okay.
But still, if you could just edit all those movies down to 1, it would probably be a decent movie. Because it's not like the movie was bad per se. It just was. We didn't need 3 movies of this. It was clearly stretched out. You could tell it was padded, but still it was high quality in many ways. So now, Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones, it went down in flames. So it has a different thing to live up to. I don't know which is harder. Is it harder to try and bust out of the shadow of a successful Tolkien projects, or is it better to kind of rise out of the ashes of one that went down in flames? I don't know which is better, which is the more resounding victory here. But I think that the fact that the goodwill towards Lord of the Rings is probably a little bit more than the goodwill towards Game of Thrones, and that Game of Thrones is winning people over. I think that's more of a thing to notice, right? You're like, oh, this fucking show that everybody was pissed about or whatever, all of a sudden it's back. That is interesting.
And people are digging it and they're watching it.
Yeah, I feel like that, for me to go, I'm back into Game of Thrones. Yeah. Now, you got Elon Musk tweeting about the Rings of Power, how it's got some of this, kind of a not really Tolkien-esque structure and in heroin and all that stuff. I can look past it. That doesn't bother me. But I do think they have a lot to live up to. They really do, especially since they decided not to do Silmarillion. It does give them a slight disadvantage, but I do think that there's way more money put into this Lord of the Rings show. It's clearly the show that's going to dazzle you with effects.
The visuals are amazing, and you get a sense of this scope.
And the acting is good too. It's just not this mean-spirited show,
right? Kate,
it's not as sexy. You know what I mean? So
it's not as sexy. That's it, like Thrones, but it's solid fantasy adventure. Top to bottom.
Yeah.
So I'm in on both of them. It's interesting. They're different, but this is
I think Game of Thrones is just doing a little bit better because it is kind of like an underdog. Yeah. You're like, oh, this fucking show that, it's got a lot of bad will.
No, that's a comeback fucking story. When we talk about who doesn't love a comeback story, it's a Game of Thrones comeback story right now. The second episode pulled more, 10.2 million viewers. I don't know what the third one did, so Thrones picked up viewers.
The fact that no one wanted this this Lord of the Rings show, and people are watching it, and people are tuning in. That's interesting.
Also, HBO filmed a pilot for a whole other show and spent millions of dollars, and then just fucking canned it. So they need this show to be good.
It's going to be interesting. I
Yeah.
think this
Yeah.
is going to be having both on at the same time. It just draws a natural comparison. So
Do you want to talk about
to watch
Geek Boner?
Geek boner.
In a little while, there will be episodes of She-Hulk for Marvel, Andor from Star Wars, House of Dragon for Game of the Thrones, and Rings of Power from Lord of the Rings, all coming out every week from all of those entities.
That's insane.
This is the era we live in.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Oh shit!
It's
would've
not only
thought?
the movies now; it's the TV and the streaming.
It's huge.
Everyone's looking for their Game of Thrones, their big show, and
Or their
they're all
Stranger
doing
Things or
it.
whatever, yeah. But man, Amazon is betting big, and I think it might pay off. The quality is definitely there for this fucking price. It looks
Well, if
it
you
looks
guys keep
amazing.
watching it and
Yeah.
you think it's good, I might dabble.
I don't think it's ever going to be as like juicy as Game of Thrones, right?
No,
Where-
I'm not expecting that.
Yeah.
I've seen the first Lord of the Rings, and I know what it is.
Yeah.
But if a show is well executed enough, I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I'm so intrigued by the fact that they spent that much money on it.
Right? It's insane. Like nobody's ever.
It's just a gigantic bet to make
It's like
Amazon
60
Prime big.
million an episode, I think, is
Yeah.
what it works out to, which is.
I think this is going to be 8 episodes.
I
we saw that.
think so. Let's see.
That's
It should
why I'm
be
looking at Wikipedia, and it's
8 to 10. Is it 8?
They have in here 8. So
Okay.
running till October 14th.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, pretty soon. Like Andor starts mid-September, so it'll be She-Hulk, Andor, House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings every week, every Thursdays, Fridays, Sundays. I don't know when Rings comes out. I think Fridays. Ugh, too much to watch.
Yeah,
I
man.
did also watch the other thing. I started watching the show, Anthony. You told me it wasn't happening, but it has happened. It's out.
Oh, the Tyson show.
It's called Mike on Hulu. It's pretty fucking good. It's from the creator of the guy, the writer of that I, Tanya movie about Tanya Harding. And it's the guy playing Mike is great. The framing is, you know how he did that one man show in 2017? This is the gimmick, the narrative gimmick that frames the whole show. He's telling the stories on stage, and you go flashbacks to him growing up, how fucked up his life was, and with his mom, and being in prison, and how he picks up boxing. And Harvey Keitel plays the first trainer he has, who's amazing.
Oh, what's that guy's name?
Customado.
Customado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Customado,
And I was like,
yeah.
is that fucking Harvey Keitel? He's so old. I was like, it's fucking Harvey Keitel doing like a Burgess Meredith, from Rocky as Customado. It's really good. It's
Customado
really good.
also trained, what's his name?
A bunch of 2 other world champion guys.
Yeah,
apparently.
Floyd Patterson.
Floyd Patterson was the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Jose
go through.
Torres,
So
yeah.
they've already gone through like him meeting Robin and getting married and what a disaster that was.
Oof, yeah.
And then losing to Buster Douglas and all that shit. It's good. Fucking good show. I'm really.
Did they do the part where he made the video game?
They talk about the game, and there's a scene. He's like ecstatic. He's like, nobody had their name on games back then. And there's a scene where it's a little bit later. It's like 1990, 91. He goes to a store with his cousin. He's gonna buy all these kids fucking and Nintendos, and he's like, throw in one of the Mike Tyson punch outs. And the guy's like, oh, nobody told you, huh? And he shows him the game, and they have changed the name to a white guy. It's like Mr. Star's Punch Out. Like they had taken him off the game. Remember? After a while, it wasn't Mike Tyson's Punch Out anymore.
Yeah, it was just called Punch
It was
Out.
just Punch Out. And he was like, oh, I'm fucking. That's like when he's a nobody in his career, and he's got a. Then he meets Don King. Oh, it's great. It's really good. Anthony, I think you would like it. It's a fucking good show.
It's just a lot to watch.
There's a lot to watch. So next
Lot to
week, be on the lookout for a couple of things. We will cover all this. It is Disney Plus Day on September 8th. Thor: Love and Thunder will be available to stream on September 8th. And then D23 is this weekend, September 9th through 11th. You've probably seen the rumors of what they're planning to announce. Get ready for a shit ton of casting and announcements about Marvel and Star Wars. We will cover.
You heard that the DC thing got canceled?
DC Fandom, which they did for 2 years, got canceled, which is whatever. It's fine. There's a fucking
Zaslav.
yeah.
He's like, cancel it.
Well, because if they're going back out to conventions and in-person things, you don't need fucking DC Fandom. I guess it's a waste of money.
Cancel that shit right
and
now.
it was like 4 hours of fluff to watch like 3 trailers. Really, it's all they did. So
Yeah.
it's fine. You could cancel that. It's fine. Doesn't matter. But he's just he's canceling more shit. We'll see. But D23, I'm very excited.
Geek boner.
Yeah.
What are they going to predict? We'll wait till
I
next
think
week.
there's going to be a Secret Invasion trailer.
Oh shit! I think we
That's
might
what I
meet the
heard.
cast of the Fantastic Four.
We'll see.
Nice.
And big casting rumors are floating around the interwebs right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
We talked about them, though, didn't we?
What
about who they got for Ben Grimm?
I don't know, but remember we talked about Giancarlo Esposito.
Mhm.
So there's a rumor that he's going to be announced, and Denzel Washington, maybe, meaning Denzel could be playing Magneto, and Giancarlo
What?
Esposito could be playing Professor X. This is a rumor.
That would be insane.
Also, Henry Cavill is rumored to be announced in a casting of something. But these are all rumors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing here potentially some directing announcements, maybe
Yeah.
Secret Wars, maybe
Fantastic Four, definitely. I think it's going to be that guy, Shackman. The Hollywood Reporter already beat them. What else does it say? Do you see those lists of names there?
I'm looking at Screen Rant's one. They're
Yeah.
saying Full Blade cast announcement, perhaps Werewolf by Night, Secret Invasion.
Seth Rogen. Oh my God.
He's Howard
Seth
the
Rogen
Duck.
is what?
I don't know.
As the Thing.
Oh, that's Seth
Whoa.
Green is Howard the Duck. Seth Rogen.
Jason Segel and Seth Rogen.
Oh, God. With Paul Rudd. You have a comedy movie right there.
Oh my God.
Oh, that'd be bad. Seth Rogen is
Yeah.
Ben
Sorry, I
Grimm.
stepped all over you. But
No,
I was
I didn't know that.
flabbergasted when I saw that.
That's not on where I'm looking. So whoa.
I'm looking at Screen Rant right now.
I'm looking at this article was from a week ago, so maybe this is not correct. I don't know. Wow, Seth Rogen? Ben Grimm?
They have, okay.
Yeah, read some more stuff. What do you got?
Okay, many rumors. Okay, so they got Krasinski might still be in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Penn Badgley is also
he's still in the running?
is being rumored. Jamie Dorman is also being considered for Reed Richards. Okay, Sue Storm. We talked about all those women. Saoirse Ronan, Jodie Comer, Philippa Sue, Amanda Seyfried, Lily James, Vanessa Kirby, and then they talk about Ben Grimm. And so the thing is Jason Segel, Seth Rogen, Johnny, Joe Carey, Zac Efron, Rudy Pankow, and Dacra Montgomery. I don't know who that is, but that's a weird name, Dacra. I don't know any of those people.
This one article says one report suggests Marvel Studios has signed John Boyega, Henry Cavill, Jodie Comer, Daisy Edgar Jones, Krasinski, Giancarlo Esposito, and Denzel Washington in various roles that may be in it.
I'm looking at that too. That rumor.
That one.
They
That
might
sounds
bring
like
all those people there.
That's
That would
like
be
John
crazy.
Boyega.
Yeah.
Who's John Boyega?
Finn from fucking Star Wars. John Boyega.
No, I mean, who is he going to
Oh,
be?
I don't know. This could be like a combination of Fantastic Four, X-Men casting right there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it looks like the rumors is that they're bringing all these actors and actresses to D23 and then revealing who they are.
Oh boy,
Denzel, that'd be cool.
I think
Denzel as Magneto,
right with against
I can't imagine Denzel doing a Marvel movie.
and being a fucking Magneto in Marvel would be
I
amazing.
feel like Denzel's so above doing that crap, but
hey, you
that'd be
write
awesome.
write a big enough check.
That's true.
You get down
and,
to the-
and villain, right? Oh
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, well,
hopefully they don't kill him.
What if Denzel is Professor X?
Oh, what if they switch
I
it?
would like that too.
That would be good. We'll probably find out maybe Deadpool 3 Thunderbolts
John
cast.
Boyega, what would he do?
Because you think about
He's
it, you got
Blade.
because you can do the allegory of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. And you'd have the guy who played Malcolm X playing Magneto. That'd be fucking amazing.
Oh shit.
That would be amazing.
Who would John Boyega play?
I mean,
Cyclops.
it could be anybody. Yeah.
What,
I mean, it could be anybody.
there's Bishop. I got to see a picture of him as Bishop.
Oh, maybe he's Bishop.
That's just lazy. That's just laziness. Oh, who's the only other black guy?
No, that's the thing is they could swap race on anybody and put John
Yeah,
Boyega
Marvel's
in.
it's anyone's
Yeah.
game right
I mean,
now. They're not. They've already disappointed fans.
Boyega
with
could
casting
be-
enough. They could just keep doing it.
Boyega could be the Human Torch for all we know, right? They would
Yeah,
do that.
He could be.
He could be anybody.
It could be anybody. Yeah. I mean, if they have all those names, I'd go, wow, that's pretty insane.
Even if they have some of those names, that's pretty fucking crazy. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We see stuff about the Marvels or more Hulk stuff, Armor Wars. They're gonna fucking drop their dick and.
Do you think that it's too on the nose though to do X-Men or mutants because they can't do X-Men anymore? They can't have men in the title, but to do mutants,
they just
but then
do
have like this and have that Malcolm X allegory in there. Do you think that's too much?
That might be too on.
Marvel's got to chill a little bit, you know.
I think it would be. I've heard rumors instead of making it an allegory towards the civil rights movement, they'd push towards more of this the LGBTQ.
Okay.
So kind of rejigger it to be more of a modern thing.
Yeah,
it's gonna be crazy.
It was always all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, it was always all about the underrepresented, right? So
or the outsider. Yeah.
Maybe I would like to know who's directing.
They don't need they don't need to force that hand. It's already there.
Right.
You know, I feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Why make it? I don't know. I just feel like that's. I don't know. It feels forced.
Yeah.
So it's already there. Like you don't have to force it in there. We're already talking about people being different and unaccepted because they're different. You know, we need to.
It was always the allegory for that, though. So that's the.
Well, that was part of it, but then also the big part of it was the family aspect to it, which they need to. You know, this is a dysfunctional family that's been ripped away from their normal families and are living in solitude with this guy that thinks he knows best, Professor X.
Yeah. There's two family things. They got to build Fantastic Four and X-Men, two different kinds of family.
The family is future.
Put Dom Toretto in there.
No, the fractured family is the future, basically.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm now. I wasn't all that pumped about D23, and now you got me excited because Denzel. If Denzel is in Marvel, I'm going. That's kind of insane.
That's a big get. No, I think we're gonna get as many reveals as we did from San Diego Comic-Con. It's gonna be just as bananas. We will be here back with you next week to break it all down. Rugs, where can the people find you online?
Looking at porn.
Oh,
no,
is that what
no, I'm just trying to be funny. I'm on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Find me there.
I know you're a hooker.
Oh, please.
Oh, God damn you, Nick Cage.
What the hell?
Fucking Nick Cage.
I'm in the middle of a homicide investigation.
I'm sorry, Nick Cage. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I thought you were a cop, Nick Cage.
I'm a cop.
I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too. I'm gonna miss you too, listener. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll beep you next time.
You gotta stop drinking while doing the show.
I find it relaxes me.
Well,
Now here's some drink.
I end up throwing up all over the place.
Jock and Nerd.